Hey, hello everybody, Truth Dog here, internet's favorite dog. Back at it with another video. I don't feel like doing one, but channel alive, I am. Um, Thanks to everybody who watched and supported me on my last video. It's been my most successful one since I came back. Obviously, the people have spoken and you want more reptilian videos, so today I'm not going to be doing a reptilian video. Going to be doing glitches in the Matrix, or at least that's what the video is meant to be. Who knows what the title will be when I'm done in half an hour, or hopefully sooner, because we all have families to be quarantined with, don't we? Damn it. Just trying to get comfortable. That light's like super bright, super blinding. Okay. Blinking out of unison. Now this is just like a hodgepodge, random mix of experiences and observations, so there's no rhyme or reason to this order, and if I put like just a little bit more effort into this video, I probably could have improved it a lot, but you're going to have to just bear with me on this. Blinking out of unison, this is something I've noticed. Something they mentioned in the movie The Congress, starring Robin Wright Penn, which was Robin Wright, sorry. She's no longer married to Sean Penn. This was a crappy movie. I didn't understand it really, but there's something really interesting in it, where they talk about actors basically they're signing a contract where they no longer appear in their own movies, and that their likeness is portrayed by CGI. And there's a scene in the movie where they're showing an example of the CGI version of actors on a TV show, that, you know, like it's a secret that all the actors on the show are actually CGI people. And I noticed it before the characters pointed out. Like one of the characters in the scene goes like this and blinks with one eye, you know, and then it's later brought up in the scene that they're still ironing out the kinks, like how the characters only blink with one eye will blink out of unison. And this is something that I've noticed in real life on YouTube lately. A lot of YouTubers I noticed do this. They blink out of unison, out of sync. It's usually this eye, I guess. Blinks out of sync. I don't see that in person ever, but I've been seeing it more and more lately with YouTubers, so that could be glitch in the Matrix, CGI characters, NPCs, something like that. So maybe I might point that out in the future, but I'll give one example I'll give three examples. I'll give four. I'll give five. Going once, going twice. I'll give 3 examples of YouTubers who have seen blinking out of unison. Now I'm going to start doing it just to fuck with you. It's actually really hard to do consciously. You have to, like, these dudes do it all the time. Maybe they're doing it on purpose, but fuck, it's not really that easy to do. Penguin Zero. He's, hey everybody, it's me, Penguin Zero, back at it with another video. He's a really popular idiot on YouTube. He does it. Frank James, INFJ personality, 16 personalities channel, he does it. And Kill Count, Dead Meat channel, James A. Janice, he does it. So look out for the blinking out of unison. Okay, so like, I've brought this up before, but I believe that we're living in Purgatory. And I remember dying as a baby. And like this isn't going to make a lot of sense to people. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But one of my earliest memories, could be movie, is my parents took me to the snow, and I tried to kill myself as a toddler, or, you know, crawled out into the snow and tried to kill myself, but they found me, brought me back. I also remember dying as a 7-year-old. I was at a party with my parents, and there was a fight. My dad was drunk and decided to leave early, and I wanted to go home with him, so I sat in the back seat. and there was a car. He had a car accident. We died. We went off the edge of a cliff. There was a white flash, and then I just remember waking up in my bed that night, not knowing how I got home, and being very certain that we had a car accident. I didn't bring it up, of course, because it's just like I was only 7, and I just thought it was a nightmare. But yeah, so I think it's possible. It's like this world, this Earth is like a prison planet, and it's maybe literally like prison where you're serving a life sentence, and you don't get to leave no matter if you die. You don't get to leave if you die. You know, you have to serve out whatever your life sentence is. That's just a theory, you know. Another thing, when I'm driving, and I might save this for the only other video I have in mind to do, is reptilians on the road. I've had multiple experiences where I've nearly crashed my car, and somehow I didn't end up hitting the other car. Like, my car just like miraculously turns just enough, or stops and turns just enough to avoid any car accidents, which is really cool. But that's happened so many times. I just don't seem to be able to like crash my car or anything. So make of that what you will. Maybe I should become like a professional racing car driver or something. Okay, so the moon. I've seen the moon. Giant moon. Has anyone else seen this before? The moon grow, like you go out at night and the moon is like 10 times the size that it should be. Seen this happen 3 times. The first time I was with a friend. We're driving through an area, kind of like a woodland area, and I looked up to the sky and the moon was just like gigantic, and it looked like it was like right next to Earth. It was huge. I told my friend, Jesus Christ, look at the moon, right? She was freaking out too. I said, because I was driving, I said, can you get your phone and film this? I need to prove that this happened. For some reason, she couldn't get the right angle, apparently, to film this giant moon. And eventually we drove past trees and couldn't see the moon anymore. When we did, the moon was back to its normal size, like that. So it went like from that to that. And I'm not doing 666, sorry about that. That'll probably be in the thumbnail though. It's probably good for the YouTube algorithm. So yeah, giant moon. What was the other time? Alright, I remember going for a walk in my street at night. I live on a hill. Looked up the hill, saw that huge moon. Ran into the house, got my phone. Came out, was surprised to see the moon was still there. I started filming, running up the hill, trying to get closer and closer to it. The moon literally set on me. It literally just set. So I wasn't really able to film at that time either. The third time was recently. Me and a friend went to see Metallica S&M 2, Symphony of Metallica. It was at the Logan Theatre. That theatre sucks. The sound was awful. It wasn't surround. It was all coming from the front speaker. You couldn't hear the bass guitar. It was just, you know, all through like 2 channels rather than surround sound. It sounded awful. It was actually really loud too. Like my ears felt like they were going to bleed. So I just said, let's get out of here. This is not worth it. We got a refund. So on our way home, saw that giant moon again. And this leads me to believe that maybe the moon only comes out when the Matrix thinks that real people are inside or occupied. Because this time we were meant to be at that movie. Like we were meant to be there for like at least another hour. And we happened to catch the moon giant again. It wasn't as big as it was the last couple times, but it was definitely way bigger than normal. And so maybe when the moon grows giant is when they do the illusion, because that's like all the negative energy gets sucked to the moon matrix, which is kind of like the Death Star from Star Wars. So that's that, the giant moon. And also in like the GTA games, there's a glitch in the PlayStation 2 GTA games where if you shoot the moon with a sniper rifle, when it's normal size, you shoot the moon with a sniper rifle and it'll grow like 10 times the size of what it's normally. So I don't know exactly what that is, but you know, that if you want to know what I saw, just go shoot the moon in GTA and that'll give you an idea. The other thing is like all 3 times that I saw this enormous moon, I went online to check, you know, typed in the area, giant moon, date, no other witnesses. Apparently no one else on the internet or in Queensland has seen the moon, so again, make of that what you will. That's kind of boring. Oh yeah, one time, okay, so again with my friend, we went and saw that Beauty and the Beast remake with Emma Watson, which is pretty good actually. I thought I would hate it, but it was actually I thought it was really good. Aside from like the bestiality aspects, you know, like that's like kind of the subliminal, that's like the evil side of Beauty and the Beast, is like it's kind of promoting bestiality, because like Beauty and the Beast, it's like fucking a dog or whatever. And so I liked that movie. It actually put me in a good mood. I actually thought it was way better than the animated version, which I can't say the same for all the other Disney and live action remakes. The fucking Lion King was god awful, pointless, and I haven't even seen Aladdin, but I can tell that is total shit. What was the point of this? Oh yeah, so I was at the shopping mall, and I was noticing more than ever that the people, as we were walking through the mall, were just like looking straight ahead, like I was invisible. I felt invisible, and that happens all the time. But I noticed these people, like they're like walking on, what do you call it, like on rails. And you know, you get that thing where you're in public and like people are pushing their trolleys, and like they nearly fucking walk into you. It's like, am I literally invisible? Excuse me. So they're doing this, and I was just like in a good mood. I had a lot of energy, and I thought, fuck, this really, really seems like everyone here is a zombie or AI or whatever. So I took it upon myself to be very, what's that word? Spontaneous. And started like wildly gesturing to everyone who walked past. Hey, how's it going? Lovely weather we're having. Nice to see you. And they didn't break. They didn't even look at me. Like you would assume if someone's being deliberately attention seeking, that people would at least be like, that at least look at you and be like, oh, like they'd be awkward and like, oh, hi. They didn't even fucking look. They didn't turn their head. So just straight ahead. I am on rails. Every single one of them. Like, I'm not saying I got in their face, because I'm not that kind of person. I do respect personal boundaries, personal space, whatever. But I was like, hey, how's it going? And just nothing. And you could say, okay, you're walking through the mall. The people coming can see you're doing it. They're just going to ignore you because whatever, you're a weirdo. I was doing it as we turned corners. As you know, you don't see who's coming, they don't see you. I was doing it and catching them. Hey, how's it going? Nothing. Just nearly walked through me. Everybody. I did it like on a straight, then I did it across one corner, and then I did it around another corner. And I had my friend there, because like I said, we went and saw the movie, and I was saying, don't you think this is weird? Don't? And she's the kind of person who is like anxiety. And she's saying she just really disliked me in that moment, because I was causing her anxiety. I have social anxiety too, but at a certain point, it's just like, I don't know. I also had a similar experience at a bottler with same friend. Long story short, the guy who served her at the liquor store was a douchebag, and I that pissed me off to hear. So I circled my car around, and I pulled up. It was like a drive-through. Liquor, fucking hair. How long has that been like that for? God, that annoys me. I pulled my car around, and I said something like not very nice. I said, "Hey, fuckface," or whatever. And then, like, hoping that I'd get his attention so that I could say something else and then just peel off, you know, and then be like, well, we're even now. He didn't even look at me. It's like, there's no way you couldn't have heard me. And he just didn't even look at me. It was just like, so that didn't work. But again, it was like that thing where it's like, were they just not programming them to acknowledge me? Like, what the fuck was that? What's that say? Oh yeah, on a walk. I've seen this a couple of times, and you can find videos of this on YouTube. planes, like, you know, jumbo jets, you know, commercial airliners, suspended in midair. You know, like I've been on a walk, and you look up to the sky, and you just see, and it's like, wait, is that plane moving? And you're like, it's got to be moving. It's just, I can't tell because I'm walking. So you stop, and you look up, and it's still not moving. And you're like, it's definitely not fucking moving. And you'll stare at it for like a minute, and it's like, there's no way that huge jet can just be like stationary in the air. But it happens. I've seen that multiple times. Again, you can find clips of that on YouTube. People filming it from their car, and you can hear their reactions. You hear the person who's sure of it, the skeptic, and then you hear the skeptic even be like, right, yeah, I don't think that's moving. How's that possible? So that's something that happens. On that note, chemtrail planes, we all know what they are. It's very strange that they're like those 1940s World War I spy planes that fly over your house every fucking 20 minutes or whatever. They're usually the ones that spray, you know, there's channels where they expose those planes as being like shape-shifting entities, jinn or whatever, demons that have taken like airplane form, that they're literally like spy planes monitoring real people, and they spray chemtrails. I guess that's like reptilians farting in plane form or something, I don't know, but seeing those, obviously you see those, but I've had multiple experiences where you can hear the plane, but you don't see the plane, and this is like on a clear day, which lately I should also mention is becoming more common. Of course, as soon as we're all forced to be inside 24/7, that's when the skies are all clear. And that's something else I've noticed, because I'm home a lot, most of the time. So I know what the skies look like all day, pretty much. And I've noticed for at least the last year that from about 8 a.m. through to lunchtime, it's very cloudy. Then at lunchtime, it's not so cloudy, from about 12 to 1. And then again, after that, it gets cloudy again from, 1 to 4 or 5, where the clouds pretty much all disappear. And I always saw that as just like, it's like that thing where conspiracy theorists will say to normal people that it's cloudy all the time, but the normal people are always at work, and on their lunch breaks they get to see the sky. It's like, it's not that cloudy today. Or they go home, it wasn't that cloudy today. When they leave work, it's not that cloudy today. But when they're inside, or while they're inside, it's very, very cloudy. Now again, while everyone is cooped up inside, they stop chemtrailing so much. Mainly, I would imagine, because they don't have to, because most people aren't leaving the house out of fear of coronavirus. But yeah, it's a thing where now, we can't even say that it's cloudy all the time, because most of the time it isn't now. And it's that thing where I think too many eyes are on the sky and they can't risk it. And conveniently for them, they don't have to. I don't know if they're having trouble chemtrailing, if it's too expensive, what's going on, or if they just don't have to because they've got everyone cooped up, vitamin D deficient anyway. But that's just an observation. I don't know how many of these cameras glitches. This is just random observations. Holy shit! Nearly 90 minutes. All right, how much more do we have? Flash of light. Oh yeah, this one. We'll count this one as a glitch. This one time I was in my bedroom, view of the backyard or side yard. I don't know exactly what to call it, but view of the yard, we'll say. And there was this flash of light, like from the Terminator. Like when the Terminator time travels. It's like this huge, lightning flash in the backyard. It was just like the whole backyard lit up. It was like daytime, And then right after that, I saw like an electrical person. And this is crazy. I know this is crazy. A man made of electricity run through the yard, like that, right past my window. Okay? And the next morning, I went out to the yard and I found black, it was like tar, like dry tar. It was like black goo in the yard. I didn't touch it because I've done my research on black goo. I didn't touch the stuff. So I let that be, and a couple of days later I go out and most of it had disappeared. But oh shit. Okay, sorry. I should have gotten this ready. Just talk amongst yourselves. Where's that stone? Yeah, cool. This thing. So this, where the majority of the black goo had dried up, it left this. And it's, I've talked to people who like know gemstones and all that stuff, and no one's been able to identify it. It's actually like, it's opaque or whatever. You can see through it in certain lights. That's not gonna work. Yeah, you see what I mean? It's like that. You can see through it, and no one's been able to accurately identify it. Certain people have told me it's like black quartz or whatever, but then certain other people who are more like open-minded, open to like conspiracies, they can't identify it. So, and it doesn't taste like anything. So there you go. That appeared after some black goo. Maybe I shouldn't have licked that. Oh well. We're all going to die soon anyway, aren't we? Flash a light. Yeah, so this is like another thing. Apparently we all died in 2012. And the only reason I bring this up is because when I first started waking up in around 2012. And when I was like, I think like my pineal gland was activating, or the third eye was opening or whatever. I see like these flashes of light. Like, I'd be, usually when I was going to sleep, like at night, I'd close my eyes and it would just be like, psh, like this lightning. And I was like, what the hell was that? That would happen a lot. And I also had these like, what do you call it? Like, it wasn't a dream because I was awake when it happened. It was like this, I don't know, what's that word? It was like, I was definitely awake when it happened. And there was one time when I was like sitting in the living room, whatever, and there's a flash of light, and suddenly I was in the living room, but it was like all the furniture was in a different place. And I looked out the window and saw the entire town flooded, right? Hurricanes, like tsunamis, flooding everywhere, and like this huge tidal wave coming, and it hit me and it knocked me back, and like, I guess I died. And then I flashed back to where I was. That was 2012. And apparently the world ended in 2012. So that, and now we're all like here in Purgatory. Like, even if some of us had died, like when we were 7 and a baby or whatever, like me, we're all dead now. And I believe that I was killed by a tidal wave in 2012. So there you go. Also, like when I was waking up, I experienced these things like hearing my name. Like I'd be, lying awake in bed, and then all of a sudden I'd hear like someone, I won't say my real name, but Truth Dog, they'd say. And I go, what the heck was that? It's like, like the first time it happened was a man's voice, and I guess it was like my father, but it didn't sound like my father that I know of here. And it only happened twice, and the second time it sounded like a woman's voice, and I could only relate it to my mother, but again, it didn't sound like my mother's voice. So there's that. Oh, and this last one, what's that say? Hearing you. Oh yeah, I just said that. Yeah, the frog people thing. So this is again around 2012, 2013 when I first woke up. Again, I was lying awake in bed. There was a flash of light, and I was standing in the living room, same room where the flood had, and there were these, like, I don't know, 7-8 foot tall creatures standing around me. I couldn't see them, but I knew that they looked like frogs, like frog aliens, and they had like royal like capes, and they were just like dressed royalty. And they taught me how to walk through a window, like not an open window, like walk through glass as if the glass wasn't there. It's like a scene out of the Matrix, right? They taught me how to do that, and which was cool. And then the last thing that happened was like the leader or whatever put his hand on my head, and there's like this on my head, and there's like huge flash, and I think like that was when they activated my crown chakra. And that's like from I think it was like either 2012 or 2013. From then on, like my intuition was like really good, and I was able to discern a lot of the videos of research I was doing at the time. And I still make mistakes, but I made a lot more mistakes then. But like that was when I think that I had like my spiritual awakening. And I don't know too many people who have experienced a spiritual awakening under those terms. But that's basically the list, and this has been a long video. And there's that black goo that's solidified that I like to keep on me, because I've told people about it, and they said, oh, you should, you're meant to have that, that's a good thing, you should take it everywhere you go. I never experienced too much, nothing really feels different. I don't have a lot of luck with those gems or crystals or anything like that. But yeah, that's my list, and I'm sure I got more experiences, but that's just what I could think of off the top of my head. Write it down and make a video. So hopefully this was watchable. Yeah, if you made it this far, don't forget to like, and feel free to comment. I'd like to know your own weird experiences, or if you've experienced anything like this, that would be really cool to hear about. Don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, and ring the bell. Okay, that's all. Hope you have a good one. Truth Dog out. Woof woof!